Hey, how's it going, everybody? Doing a quick update on the CDC. I didn't really have time to do that after the event because pretty much got home and immediately had to head to Chicago for Bullshooter. I'm not really going to do a recap for Bullshooter. I was mostly there for two reasons. One, for fun. It's kind of the one soft tip event I'll go to. Maybe Myrtle Beach if I don't have something else going on, which last year I did. So, and also, I know that I won the ESPN shoot last year, but I didn't want to assume I was going to get an automatic invite, so I figured I needed to at least show up to one event this year, that being Chicago. So I got the invite before I went there, but by then I already had everything booked, so I just went to hang out. Really enjoyed playing with all my partners there. Enjoyed doing the Team USA thing, which we managed to come in first. Actually only dropped one leg the entire event in the round robin and in the finals, which is a feat considering all the the quality of players and the fact that it was loser start. So we all played really well, so that was really fun. But so getting into the thing I was looking forward to since October in the Continental Cup was getting back to business on the CDC and seeing how it goes. First and foremost, we saw all the, you already saw the video I made about some of the issues that we had, but this is going to be all positive. I'm going to have to poke at myself in a minute because I'm also going to talk about the U.S. qualifiers. That was really fun to stay and watch. But this will be all positive. If if you want to know what the issues were, you can go watch my other video. There was one issue, but it was handled appropriately by the player that brought it up, and we have a good process going forward. That issue being that unfortunately the first event was seeded off of last year's standings instead of the 20 event order merit, but wasn't done on purpose. It was the largest field we've ever had. There was a lot of stuff going on. It was a honest mistake, and the council came up with a solution that one of us will always verify that the seeding is accurate and correct. And so, so the way things are supposed to be handled when there's an issue. So, so heading into this, I've been steadily getting better and better ever since I left my job. I just, a lot of stress that was related with that kind of flew off, and I was able to kind of focus a little more on my game. Started with Modus, did really well there, and everything in between I've just been, again, getting gradually better and better, a little more consistent. Was really happy with my quality of play, especially in that first event. Got to play Nick Georgeson. The first time I played him was in Philly, the last weekend of 2021. I beat him down the board, but couldn't hit a double, and he did. And I've been taking him a lot more serious since then. Not that I wasn't taking him serious, but before, but you know what I mean. Came out of that one firing really well, 97.6. Not going to complain about that, especially in a 5-0 win. Got to play Dave Fathom next round, 101. Last year I had the most 100-plus averages. I think I had 7, and I'm going to try to match or beat that feat this year. So second match, first 100, so that was good. I did accidentally have an issue, or we'll say Dave had an issue with me unbeknownst to me until after the match, but we had a board that was really rocking, and I'd been actually practicing coincidentally on that board all morning, so it didn't. It was just something that I'd already gotten used to and wasn't thinking about. So I'd throw my darts, I'd grab them, come back, and I know Dave wasn't playing his best, so he had some grabbing some darts, kind of talking to himself, or at least I thought he was talking to himself. I guess he was talking to me, asked me not to pull the dart so hard to shake the board. But again, it was something I didn't even notice. There was one time I guess he pulled his darts a little harder. It caused the board to do a really hard sway, but again, I'm used to it, and I guess he was frustrated that I hadn't stopped doing it because again, I didn't notice what I was doing. But ironically, and I know in the moment it frustrated him more, but when he did that, it hit a 180. He did it again a couple legs later, and I hit a 140 going triple 20, triple 20. So I even remember thinking to myself, I was like, man, I wish he would do that more often. I keep hitting everything when he doesn't. But it wasn't until after the match that I realized that what I was doing was bothering him. But if he had obviously, if it had been brought up during the match, I would have not done that. What we talked about is good. It wasn't anything major. It was a fun match. Again, high quality, 101 over 6 legs. Got to play Matt, who I've been saying is one of the, I can't say he's underrated because he's still kind of new on the scene, but he's the guy to look out for. He's going to be really good. He already is really good, but he's going to be really good. We had an excellent match on stream. You can go back and watch it on the CDC page under their live tab. A 96 to a 92, but technically a 93, I guess if you want to round up. So a 96 to a 93 over 9 legs is really good. So up to this point, 96.2 is my worst match through 3. Just really proud of that, and really happy with the quality of play there. And then I run into another guy that's one of my toughest opponents. When he gets going, he's as good as anybody, if not better. So a 6'5", 97 to a 97. It's just excellent match. I have no problem losing matches like that, especially to Stowe. 1 leg over 18, only 2 legs over 16. Just really high quality. I did have a shot at a match-winning dart here. I don't remember if I missed some doubles. Maybe didn't get a shot. But I mean, I'm going 140, 140, 140. 3 140s and a 41 is still not enough to take it out because he's taking out the 110. There's a lot of bold over here on both sides. Just really good. I missed 2 darts at the double 8 here. He takes out the 120. Had a weak leg with the 60 and the 42 here. He starts off strong 180, 140. So I kind of gave him that confidence and momentum. And when you give that to him, he's nearly unbeatable. I had 1 shot at the double 20. I don't even remember if it was close. I don't think it was. I think I tried to be over aggressive and ended up pushing it low, especially after he had already had a turn at it. But again, just an excellent match. I think our scoring, his scoring 108 to my 97, doubling over 40% each. He had a bunch of 180s. It was just a really good match. But that was the first event. I mean, looking at the leaderboard for that, I'm going to take a 97.7 over 4 matches, 31 legs any day. Again, really happy with that. It's been a while since I've been engaged enough to be able to pull those kind of numbers out. So that was really awesome. So heading into day 2. Picked up right where I left off, 98.5 against Michael Escobel. Escobel's somebody that I keep an eye on as well. He was and still does play really well in the online stuff. I see him pull it out every now and then. And the live stuff, just maybe not as much as he probably wants to like and not as much as I'd expect, but he's somebody with a little more time and experience. I expect him to be pretty dangerous. Ricky Allred, same thing. Somebody that's, that's I'm close to. I'm a big fan of his, but putting some pretty good numbers, and he's only going to get better. That one, little drop in quality, 88.5, but I think that was just kind of, sometimes when you're playing your buddy, it's hard to, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to put up big numbers against guys that you like. Next match, right back at the 88.9 mark, 6-3 over Chuck. I haven't seen Chuck in a while. Didn't know what kind of form he was in. So I just went in just trying to make sure, I did what I could to make sure I don't give him opportunities, because even if he wasn't playing well, guys like that can pull it out at any time. Got really tough from there. Not that it wasn't tough leading up to it. With David Cameron, a 6'4", he outshot me with a 93.7 to my 90. Just a really good match. Especially taking he was hitting his stride here, 100, 90, 100. He did have a poor leg here that I was able to take advantage of. But then finishing strong with 200s, but I was able to steal that last one with a 13. Just another really high quality match. I want to say our scoring was pretty good. Maybe it was a different match, but still 102 to 97, not bad. Again, finishing over 40%. Just really good match. I always like playing David. Next one was Baggish, 7-5. Even when he's not playing well, he's obviously going to be a tough beat. Started off fairly strong. 94, 194, 115, 115, 100. I did dip a little bit. I don't know. I remember this match feeling pretty comfortable, pretty good. Sometimes the darts just don't land for you. But was able to. We both had kind of poor-ish finishes, the 70 to the 69. Then we picked it up for a leg, 115 to 105, and then 70, 70, and 70. 80. So we both started off really strong. I just kind of tapered off from there, but was happy to pull off the win. Scoring is kind of what hurt him. He could easily have won that match with a little better front end scoring. His finishing was incredible, actually, if I remember right. So let's see. I took out the 120. He takes out the 151. I don't remember what I shot. What did I shoot here? Maybe it was a different one. Okay, it was a different one. So anyway, he takes out the 151. Very next leg, he wires the double 20 for another 151 after I set up with a 141. And then the next leg, I go 140, 140, 140. And he's on 167. I know, but I mean, what are the odds of you going 151, 151, 167, right? So I played the odds here. That's not any disrespect to him. I know he can go 151, 151, 167. It's just I'm playing the odds, right? So especially with me going 140, 140, 140, I'm expecting to catch a triple in the first two darts. I didn't, and he pops the 167, which was not even mad about that. That was awesome. I'm actually kind of sad that he didn't hit that 151 to just make it an even better story. Might have resulted in me losing the match later, but you know what? It's still fun. But just an overall great match. Like I said, a little sloppiness in the scoring, but no, just a great match. And then in the finals, I get to play good friend Jason Brandon. Love playing him. We almost always go the distance. He had gotten me the time before this when we played in the DPFL CDC Super Cup, where I was shooting about 105, 106 after 6 legs, and he managed to come back and beat me, 9-8, 10-9, something like that. So you can't take him lightly. But just a great match. Lots of 12, 11, I don't know. This one was actually streamed. Fortunately, I think most of the matches this day weren't streamed. Just a really, really good match. But I have 3 spots to show. His doubling was a little his doubling was poor, but his finishing was excellent. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense. Just to kind of show a quick clip here. So in the second leg, he misses the 2 at the double 14, gives me a shot at the 170, and boom. First 170, I think, on the CDC tour. I have one at the Challenge Tour, but I think this was my first here. So we have that, and then let's go to 1917 in a similar situation. There we go. So I have 92, score 33. Just wasted opportunity there. And then what does Jason do? Jason tags me back. That annoyance that you see there from me is not that he hit that 170. It was because I didn't even get a shot at the double from 92, or at least have a reasonable shot. All right, so let's see. And then we jump to 2610. Let's see. There we go. So at 2610. Well, the scoreboard went away, so I can't remember where I was at. Okay, I missed shots to take it out myself, and then what does Jason do? Pops in the 160. Just absolutely sick. So we had two 170s and a 160 in the same match in the finals on the stream board, which was just incredible. Yeah, so that's what I mean when I say that he had his doubling was a little poor, maybe in the other legs, but his finishing was just excellent. That was a really fun match, and interestingly, was my first CDC win, my first main stop CDC win. I've won many titles. I've won a Cyber Series online event. I've won the shootout at WADA, the double and double out event. Beat Baggage in the finals there. I've won, what was it? I want to say it was WADA again, but this time it wasn't the shootout. I think it was just a match play. I know I played Dave Walsh in the final, I think in the regular 501. I can't remember who I played in the final in that one. Doesn't matter, but then I won the Continental Cup against Doug, and so now the person that has gifted me, fortunately, my first CDC win in the main tour would be again one of my best buddies in Jason Brandon. So I appreciate that from him, because I'm sure he's going to get me the next time. Actually, that's a little bit of foreshadowing that I didn't mean to do, but no, that's excellent. There was a running set for a main tour event, and so they asked me how I felt after winning, and I said a little sad that now I don't have that little running joke anymore, but enjoyed the win. Hopefully it's the first of many. So if we jump over to the third event, the next day, I get to play Jake McMillan, who just earlier in the day found out that he was going to be playing at the U.S. Masters at MSG, and he played really well. He actually outshot me scoring-wise, 89 to 88, and I don't remember much about the match, but I just remember this was a dangerous match because he's kind of playing free. Like, he came here to win that master spot. I know he came to play good at the CDC, but he really came to get that spot at the Masters, and once he got it, sometimes it was either like he's going to play awful because, you know, he already got what he gave, or he's going to play amazing. I didn't start off too strong. It was just kind of a solid in general, nothing too flashy. The 15-14 jumped me ahead, and then we just traded legs from there. But no, it was an enjoyable match. The first time that I got to play him. I didn't know much about him going into the weekend, but apparently I didn't realize that his dad is actually down here in the South Carolina area. I mean, I'm in North Carolina, but he's close enough, which was really cool. So I kind of found myself rooting for him a little bit through the weekend. Followed that up with a win over Anthony Cianciolo. I'm probably saying that wrong. I met him in Music City. It was either last year or the year before. Played incredibly good. You know, I'm sure he was already planning on it, but I made sure to talk to him after, make sure you get to the CDC. You know, he can be a little inconsistent, but I've seen enough from his game to know that he can play really well. I came out with a 10-darter. I actually had two 10-darters this weekend. I had one against Fathom, the same method that I went here, and I had one against Anthony here. But you know, he had a couple legs. He had some inconsistency in the scoring here, but a really great leg here. I had the start, so I got the finish first. But he has a lot of good potential. So I was excited to see him both be a tour card holder and be here participating. So 94 for myself. Again, another still hovering around that 100 point on the scoring average. Good finishing. Just an overall good weekend so far for me. Really happy with that. Played Jason, and I just wasn't hitting anything. Jason played amazing. Obviously, he shot a 95, but I just couldn't really seem to get anything to land for me. They were all just, honestly, it was kind of like the U.S. Masters, where I wasn't playing bad. I just couldn't seem to get the things in the triple. But doesn't matter. A miss is a miss, right? And he played awesome. So that was the end of my weekend. Just speaking real quick on the U.S. Masters qualifiers, I guess I could probably pull those up real quick while I'm talking. I was very impressed with Jake specifically. He wasn't the most what do you call it? Probably wasn't the most well-known player. Like I said, a lot of us didn't really know who he was. But that first day, there's a lot of them. That first day he makes the final. He wasn't putting up the biggest averages. He just had excellent timing. He had to get through some really tough players. Let's see what his path was, because I'm curious. So he had quite a few. So he had to get through Chris Lawson, Gavin Nickel, Ryan Vanderway, who's Ryan didn't play very well, but as I'm sure you guys are all aware, Ryan can really throw. Gets through Jacob Taylor, gets through Leonard Gates again. He's mid to high 70s, not putting up the greatest averages, but you know what? In this type of event, a win's a win. Who cares how you get it? But I mean, his opponents, didn't play great. He did his job. That's all you can do. In the final, Jason, cemented his spot. It was pretty much the CDC staff and me waiting to watch. I wanted to be there in case either one of these guys, just because when I learned that Jake's dad lives nearby, and I saw the path he was taking, and obviously Jason, again, I've mentioned many times, is one of my favorite darters. Wanted to be there to congratulate whoever won, and obviously after Jake lost, I told him to keep his head up, because a finalist almost always qualifies for the event, and I just told him, hey, just have a halfway decent outing tomorrow and you're good. The problem was his draw. When I woke up in the morning, checked the draw, man, that was tough. Drew Danny Lobby right out the gate, but got through it. Jacob Taylor again, got through it. Darren got through it, and I know Darren's not quite, there's some inconsistencies there, but Darren shot an 85, so it wasn't a cakewalk or anything like that. And then he played Elliott, and I have a story about that, and I feel really bad about it, but I'll get to that in a second. But Jake had this gauntlet to start, and he did it. I know that the averages aren't the highest, and I know other people might want to say that other people deserved it more, but you know what? He won his matches. He did what he had to do. He did not have an easy path at all. So I'm really happy for him, and we'll talk about. I'll mention another thing or two about him when I do my Masters recap. But the low light of the weekend for me was I didn't care who made it. I was just super excited for whoever was there, because I know I was excited for it. And so we're all in the other room. We're doing the math, like, okay, so-and-so has to win this, or they have to do this. And I didn't play in this, so I didn't get the players brief. So I asked, and it's funny because I asked 3 different independent parties doing the stuff, like, what are the tiebreakers? And they told me that it was leg differential and then average. So because I had it from 3 different people, that was my understanding. So we're all doing the math. When it was Elliott and JT in the final. Just going to pull this up so I can look at it quick. So when it was Elliott and JT in the final, I think we had all done the math where Elliott just had to win 2 legs, and I believe JT had to win 1 leg to overcome the leg differential. And because they had both played at a higher average, Elliott going 91, 91, 87, 88, 87, that was higher than what Jake had, and I believe JT was a higher average as well. So we had all done the math, and as far as I knew and what I was told, Elliott, by winning the first 2 legs of the match, was in. And then as soon as JT won his leg, he was in. So as far as I was concerned, it was funny because I asked like 2 or 3, I asked the same 2 or 3 people, okay, Jake's in, or sorry, not Jake. I said, Elliott's in and JT's in, right? And then everybody was like, yep, he's in. And so I was like super excited. I went back to the room and I was watching, because there was something fun about going in knowing 2 guys are kind of stressed and playing, not knowing that they're in, And so Elliott, as you can see here, loses the 5 straight. And, he's upset. JT Davis is super pumped because he guaranteed his spot. And, Elliott, because he walks over in my direction, I just figured, hey, man, don't even worry about it because you're in. As we all found out, he in fact was not in. because the second tiebreaker was not averages; it was legs won, and then it was averages. But again, one, I got fed bad information by multiple different people, and again, other people there also thought that Elliott was still in. So when they announced officially that Jake actually got in, one, I can't imagine how Jake was feeling. I know he had to have been shocked. And so I was super happy for him, but then obviously I like Elliott, so I was super disappointed, one, that he didn't get the spot, and two, that I had to be the person to, be the first person to mention that he was still in. So yeah, that kind of sucked. But you know what? He took it well. At least outwardly, he took it well. But we were just excited to watch all these guys all battling it out. I know that there's questions about how the qualifiers should have gone down, and I'm not disagreeing with any of that. But everybody knew what they had to do coming into this, and these guys battled it out, and they won their spot. And then maybe next year we can have better notice, better information, better whatever. Just it's tough because you want your best guys up there, right? And that's not saying that these guys aren't our best, but to grow the sport, it's look, if you go look at pretty much any recap of the U.S. Masters, it's where's Baggish, where's Lobby, where's Gates, all this, so it's tough because you have to have the open qualifier, I guess, I don't know if you have to, I don't know all the rules, but anyway, those guys played in these qualifiers and they didn't qualify, but to grow the sport, you have to have the people want to see, right? But you don't want to take anything away from the players that qualified and all that. I don't know. So hopefully we can have a more a better system. But you know what? I think we've proven that we have the quality. Maybe we shouldn't be only just taking 8. Let's have a 16 team field. I don't know, a 16 man field. I still feel like we have a really strong 16 if you take our top Canadians, top Americans. You get your guys that have their visibility, that have that popularity already, and then you can get some guys like JT and Jake and Jason who are excellent players, but maybe aren't as well known. Like I said, I've said many times, I think Jason is the most underrated player in the country. I still think that. So, but anyway, guys, I know this has been a little bit longer probably than I anticipated, but hope you guys enjoyed, and looking forward to the next stop. I got 6 weeks off until Chicago. So I got plenty to do. Who thought I'd be busier having left my job than when I was working, right? So a lot of work to do between now and Chicago. Hopefully I come home with another title or 3. But I don't know. Just really looking forward to it. All right. We'll see you guys in the next one.